What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Wealth Not Weight. I am your host, as always, Swift. And in this episode, we are talking about the first time I ran a 5K. Now, this was a very interesting story compared to a lot of other people's 5Ks. Most people train and exercise and practice running and then do something formal. I did none of that. What I did was very innovative, is what we'll call it. Back in the day, this was, I want to say, a couple years ago now. Probably, I think it was 2019, I believe. I want to say 2019. And, 2018, I think. Somewhere. And then, I was still very heavy. I had lost a substantial amount of weight, but it wasn't anything compared to what I would go on to achieve, or even now. You know, it was maybe 50, 60-ish pounds, so it's still pretty good, but I still had, quite a way to go. And being someone who's just a fat boy, especially in high school, elementary school, middle school, just most of my life being a fat boy, it was not something I really wanted to do, was run. But as I started to lose weight and as I started to feel better about myself, I was like, I need to do this. This is just something I need to do. I learned about it. I always knew, obviously what a 5K was, but I never really got in depth with it. It was like, what is it exactly? How do people train for it? How do people prepare for it? Why do people do it? And I've seen all these amazing articles and people talking about running and, this achievement and doing that. And I just need to do this. I need to run. I need to prove to myself, that I'm not this fat kid anymore. I made headway. I am now somebody different. And that's kind of the reason why I wanted to run. And I've had this overwhelming sense of just, I need to do it. I need to do it. I need to do it. So I looked it up, and in my area there was no 5Ks. This was like in the middle of the summer. There was nothing until I think December. And then by then you need to sign an entrance fee and sign up for it. And it was just something I'm like, well, I can't do that then. I'm not going to wait that long. I'm just going to go to the beach and run. And for any of you who don't know, it's 5 kilometers is approximately 3.1, a little closer to 3.2 miles. I'm going to run on the beach because that's where I figured was the best place to do it. Fuck if I know why. And I said, that's what I'm going to do. So I explained this to one of my friends at the time. And I said, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. Surprisingly, somebody wanted to do this with me. And I was like, fuck, okay, cool. Now I have to do it. So I went and I picked up my friend and we went to the beach. We parked. I put everything in the car. I locked it away. And I went out with what I thought was not really much at all. I had my keys. I had my phone. I had my watch on. I had just like a couple other small things with me. Some headphones and stuff. And I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And I had the armband so I could put my phone in there. And as I'm getting set up and getting all this on, my friend's gonna look at me like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, we gotta do it. Completely stupid, on both parts. One wasn't open-minded, the other one was just way out there in left field, me being the left field one. And I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. And this is just, remember, the middle of summer. This is the beach. This is like, over here in Pinellas County, the beach is a long stretch. You have some really nice sand, which we didn't go to. We had some kind of nice sand, and the other really not nice sand. We went to the kind of nice sand part of the beach, all right? And so it's not great, but it's also, not horrible. Middle of summer, though. Middle of Florida summer. We're running. Fat boy. Running. Heat. Beach. I don't know how I didn't realize this wasn't going to be a good idea. But anyway, I set everything up, I get going, and I run. And we're chugging along, and then all of a sudden, these armbands starts to itch and pull at my hair. I'm like, this fucking sucks. All right, I take the armband off. I'm like, fuck the armband. I think I threw it in my pocket at that point. I didn't start throwing things yet. And I had to put my phone and everything in my pocket. I'm like, all right. And we do a full sprint. I'm like, I head out. I had looked up nothing about running at the time. I knew nothing beyond what normal people know about running. Maybe a tad more. And as you guys know, I talked about it in the other video, my feet I run tiptoed. So I run just purely on the front of my feet. The whole arch and back of my foot is not in use. I don't run flat-footed like everybody else does. I run purely on the toes of my feet, the toe and front part of my foot. So obviously that's not helping me run, but I don't know any techniques really. I don't know any breathing techniques, any motion really. I looked at one video, where you're just gonna keep your arms down to your side. That was really it. That's all I do. I do not, very little about pacing, any of that. So I do a full sprint in one direction, and me and my friend, we're going. He's a lot better shape than me at the time, at the time at least. And we get down the beach, and I get super tired. Boom, hit a wall. I'm like, so fat boy me in the summer is just sweating now. I exhausted all my energy, and the heat's just blaring down on me. I feel my keys stabbing into me. Everything sucks. And at this point, most people probably give up. They're like, 1, I'm too fat. 2, it's the summer. 3, I wasn't prepared for this. 4, I know none of what the fuck I'm doing. And 5, we didn't really get it that far, so we could stop if we want. But I said, no, fuck this. So we kept going. And granted, my friend was very nice with this. And he could have, trailed ahead. And so at some parts he did, but he could have, ran ahead and completed this a lot quicker than I could have. He was a lot more athletic than me, again, at the time. But he stayed with me, and we were keeping pace, and I was just, I'd run for a little bit, I'd stop, and then run for a little bit, and then stop. Almost like a HIIT cardio thing. I'd full blow for like a minute or two, and then I had to stop for like 3 or 4 minutes. That's basically what I was doing. If I was just getting at cardio, and I'm sure it was great, it was a great exercise, but it wasn't great for running a 5K, because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. I remember there's just a heat blaring down on us, and we're running closer to the water, because it's more of a flat surface, so, because the sand is like kind of wet, but not completely wet. So it acts almost like a concrete. It's not slipping around. It's not obviously as hard as concrete, but it's more of a flat, stable, harder surface. So we're running, but of course the tide's coming in. The day shifted. Shifting, everything's going on. So as the water's then rushing over and drenching now my socks and my shoes, the sand's getting wet. So my feet are getting stuck to the sand. The shoes are getting stuck in the sand. So I run and I take a big step, boom, and I pull my foot up, and then boom, my foot pops out of my shoe. So I'm like, motherfucker. So then, okay, all right, I'll go back for it. And I'm just on this running, so fuck it, I'll go back for it. And my fat body's bounding down the beach, and I'm really hot, and I'm running. I'm like, okay, all right, let's go. And it happens again. I'm like, fuck, I'll just keep going. I take my socks off, and I'm like, hey, fuck that. I keep going, and I'm telling you, like, it was just like a scene from a movie. Like, I had so much confidence in myself. I had like main character energy when probably should have. But my fat, sweaty body's bounding down the beach. No shoes, no socks, no nothing. Now I'm running, and I'm like, fuck this, and I take my shirt off because I'm sweating so much. My friend's dying laughing. Like, he almost couldn't run at one point. Okay, that's how hard he's laughing, because now just my full, fat, shirtless, sweaty body, man boobs and all, is just running down the beach, full sprint, trying to go. We're like full tilt, and we get about, like, I'd say over halfway, easily over halfway, probably about 2.1 miles in, and he's like, I'm like, what? Like, we're at a break, we're stopping, again, run, break, stop, run, break, stop. He goes, probably should have done this in one direction there and one direction back. Fuck. Well, too late now. So we're like, fuck it, we only got a mile left. Might as well keep going. So, as we wouldn't really know, I was mapping out on my phone and everything and trying to do it with my watch. I had the Galaxy here too, so I was mapping out all the steps and everything, the pedometer, and we just went for it. So I was just bounding down the beach, full Baywatch style, until finally my large body was just like, all right, boom, I'm done. I'm ready. That's it. And we got to the last, I want to say 0.1 mile, 0.2 miles, and I just full sprint, and that's it, we finished. And I stopped everything. I checked the time, I took a deep breath, we looked, and the goal was to get it at 35 minutes. Somewhere between 30 and 40 minutes is the average time for a 5K person. They're pretty happy with that. It's just your average person who runs a 5K. Goal is to get it in 35 minutes. After all that hard work, after losing my shirt, throwing my shirt, see people do it, boom, threw it towards them. Shoes getting stuck in the water, fat, sweaty body, key stabbing me, everything not working, everything going hard. I get it in about 40 minutes and 23 seconds. So we didn't make it. I'm sorry if you were hoping for a Cinderella story at the end of that, but we didn't make it. So I'm just like, fuck. I'm just kind of shaking my head. I mean, he could have made it. My friend, again, God bless him, he probably could have made it at the time. But we didn't. He finished probably a couple seconds sooner than I did. He was ahead of me, but we didn't make it. But put it that way. And I'm like, fuck. So I gotta go back, chugging down. I pick up my shirt. He goes, where the fuck's your shirt? I'm back there. So I get my shirt, and then he runs ahead of me to get my shoes, and I'm kind of like, fuck. I'm out of breath. I'm done. That's it. This ain't happening. I am fucking beat. The sun. It was. I want to say 90 degrees out. I could probably check it and put it on the screen that day what the weather was. Probably about 90 degrees out at the beach. It was hot. It fucking sucked. There was no wind. Pretty sure I was running against the wind. I couldn't have planned this any worse. This was all I had no training, no water, no fucking anything at all. Nothing planned for this. I just thought we're gonna run, we're gonna do it. Boom, it's gonna take 20 minutes tops. It took 40 minutes. This was, about the time we were done. I'll get into that in a minute. Close to an hour. So finally, he grabs everything. We go, all right, now time for the walk back. The walk back, 3.1 miles back, was the worst walk I think I've ever had to do in my life. I've been through some pretty bad walks. I'll probably tell you guys that story about the time I went to Comic-Con and the fucking manhole covers were blowing off over in Tampa, and there was just water shooting out of it. And I was in the middle of like a typhoon. There was times I've been to SeaWorld. It always involves rain and water. I don't know what the fuck it is with rain and me. But I'm at SeaWorld, it pours down and lightning is striking all over the place. These bathrooms are flooding. We had to leave. We're running. I'm up to like legit my knees. And I'm a 6'3" person. So I'm up to my knees in water. My one friend's like this, dredges through the water. It was bad. Needless to say, my phone got ruined. But it got real bad real quick. And this was like one of the worst walks I've had. And we're walking, we said, fuck this, get off the beach access. I'm trying to put my shoes back on, it just hurts. Everything hurts, everything's wet, everything's sticking, everything's pulling, everything's rashed and chafed and pain. So anytime I walk barefoot on the concrete, all the fucking rocks are stabbing me. And again, I work on half my foot. So my full body weight, instead of being distributed between the whole foot, is distributed on half the foot. So I just feel fucking rocks and glass and everything stabbing me and all the seashells and everything hurts, everything bleeding. Everything's bad. I'm telling the story now. Like obviously, everything went well, but this at the time was just horrible. And I step on everything, and everything hurts. It's wet. It's hot. And then it's a little bit of self pity. Like, oh, fuck, I did it in about 40 minutes though. That's the very tail end of doing it. So on the way back, it kind of sucked, but I also had this overwhelming sense of confidence as we were getting closer to the end there. I was like, but I did it. That's the takeaway I got from when I got in the car. And I was just kind of dying, and I drove off the beach, and we were looking for a place to stop and get any form of water whatsoever. I was like, but I fucking did it. Body was just tired, but it did it. It did it in the very tail end. I did more than some other people wanted to do. I want to run a 5K. I want to be healthy. But I did it. I proved to myself that I wasn't the person I was before. The person I was before probably couldn't have done it at all. 5K would have took them over an hour. I'm almost 300 pounds of me running. Going through Busch Gardens was a fucking struggle. So this, I was like, I didn't do it in 35 minutes, but I did it in about 40. Got the tail end of it. Great, I wouldn't have run any medals, but I still would have finished a 5K in a reasonable amount of time for someone my size. If I train, I do a little better, maybe lose more weight, I can conceivably do this. And I did do this. I did do this within a great amount of time. I didn't achieve the goal I wanted, but I still did well. I shot for the stars and I hit the moon. Well, it's no small feat. I hit the moon, didn't I? And that was just kind of this overwhelming sense of confidence. Like, I still fucking did it. I went out and my fat body ran down the beach just very stupidly, very ignorantly, had a great time when it went with my friend, and I had this amazing fucking story I could tell people now. That like, look, I did it. My large self did it. I went out and wanted to do something so very bad to prove to myself I'm not the person I used to be. I'm better now. And then I did. Not to the same degree I wanted. I didn't hit every goal I wanted, but I did pretty fucking well. And I'm proud of myself for that. I was proud of myself from that then, and I'm still proud of myself from that. But from then on, we went and I had a friend. We had to meet at the gym. First time I went to gym in like forever after that. Of course, the same fucking day I wasn't expecting this. Expect to run, gym, would be great. We stopped at this little bullshit gas station, right? It was like out of the way, okay? And we get the biggest jugs of water we could find, like legit, like a couple gallons for free to each of us. And we get these weird fucking energy drinks that my one friend likes. So me and him also got this. We were getting it for our friend at the gym, so me and him also got it. And we're like, all right. So we're drinking. I finished about half a gallon in like, probably 10 minutes. Just boom, okay, done. We're trying to drink at the same time and also breathe. Like, I'm trying to catch my breath and also not die of heat stroke. So I'm sitting in the car, we're just like, we're just looking at each other like, what the fuck did we just do? And we're like, all right, we had this energy drink, and we're like, well, fuck it, let's try it. We had like strawberry and like cherry or whatever. So I tried one, I'm like, this is fucking good. This is real fucking good. This is a little off-brand weird energy, probably like a rhino horn or something fucking weird in it. And we're like, this is good. This is like, this tastes good, and I feel weird. Like, I started to feel tingly. At first, I was always a big energy drink person at the time. And I hadn't had any of these before I started drinking Bang Energy, before I did any pre-workouts, before I did any of that. This is the first time I probably had an energy drink ever, other than a couple like sips of Monster. First time I ever drank anything as a full energy. It's one of the small bottles, too. So it's like 300 milligrams and like, 6 ounces or something like that. 8 ounces. And I downed that real quick. I'm like, oh, I feel my body starting to like tingle. I feel like I'm being a little like less itchy and more like, I feel some like, almost tickling, almost feels like. I feel my whole body tingling. Like, start to almost, not quite, but almost, smell colors, see noises. I'm starting to see the vibrations of the universe. And I'm just like, okay, and then he only drinks half, and he's starting to get that feeling. He's a smaller person, less body weight, and I finish his other half, and I'm like, I feel like Superman at this point. Bane just pop Venom and just I'm ready to go. I'm like, all right, so we get to the gym, we finished our jugs of water, and we blow out a 2-hour workout of probably one of the most intense and satisfying workouts I've ever had in my life. So not only did we run a 5K through the heat, walk back the 3.2 miles, hot, sweaty, in pain, everything sucked, but then worked out on this energy drink high for 2.5 hours, and the most, for one of the most at least, fulfilling workouts I've ever had in my life. And then proceeded to go home. I crashed. My feet was in pain for the next week and a half. Horrible bleeding, everything, pain, bad. But it was one of the most fun memories I've had. And it was just like, wow, I fucking did this. Oh my God, that was amazing. So my advice to you and the overall moral of the story, something I talk about in the book, I had to go back and reread a little bit from it just to see what details I wanted to add. But this was definitely something that I was very happy I did. If you guys do any form of run, any form of 5K or anything like that, one, pick a good surface. Beach, probably not the best place. You're either getting uneven ground or hard ground or hot or wet ground. Probably not the best place for it. I did it again. We'll talk about that in the next video. But the beach probably is the best place for it. Maybe like a long road, okay? Something with even surface. Something nice. Something not too hard, something not too bad. 2, wear comfortable shoes. Ideally running shoes. Spend the $20 and get running shoes. Something nice. Okay, some of those the foot thing maybe that I don't know how well those work. Those might work well. I remember I tried on a pair when I was running. It felt like a dream. The ones that conform to like the shape of your foot. They look like toes. And when standing and walking were great, but when I full on ran, those shoes felt great. See what works for you, but get something like that. Watch a couple YouTube videos on how to run, on pacing, on exercise. Figure that out. Don't take weird energy drinks you find at the gas station. Drink plenty of water. Come well prepared. Maybe have some music, a good playlist. My headphones ended up not working and I couldn't listen to a good playlist, so we just ended up talking. Find a good playlist. Have a running buddy. These are all things that I could have done so much better and or would have advised doing that I ended up. Like I had a running buddy, but that was the only good thing I probably had. So many other things that I could have done. But the moral of the story is, if you really want to do something, if you have a dream, go out and do it. Just do it. Just go for it. Obviously plan as best you can. Obviously be prepared for it, hopefully better than I was. But don't prepare so much and think about the planning that you don't do. Be as prepared as you can. Set a date. Okay, next week I'm going to go do a 5K. In that week, do everything you can to make sure it's the best you can. Make sure, get your sound, watch everything, get your music, get the clothes you need, get everything you need. But beyond that week, don't sit there and be like, oh, wait till next week. No, do it. Okay, something's not ready. Oh, well. I did the best I could with that. I'm going for it. Because otherwise, you're never going to do it. If you feel like I did, that you have something to prove to yourself, especially with health, especially with weight, go out and just do it. It's like Nike. That's the best advice I could give, is go out and just do the thing you want to do and make yourself proud. Put all your heart and effort to it. I could not have run any harder than I did that day with my large, sweaty body bounding down the beach. I'm not regretting not trying hard enough. There are things I could have done better, but I wouldn't go back and change anything about that situation. If I did it again, which again we'll talk about in another video, there are things I would do better. But I wouldn't go back and change that because, hey, it was me, and I did it. That's basically it, and that's what I want everybody to go out and do, is say you have a goal in mind, go out and do it the best you can. And just do it. Make yourself proud. So, if you guys like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.